What is up, y'all? It's your girl Brand New, and I'm back in the building. And today I want to briefly discuss Dutchess Lattimore. Y'all know her from Black Ink Crew. She was recently on Sister Circle Live. And I have a few comments to make about the interview. So I'm going to play the interview and I will come in and out with my commentary.
Really? Why? Because people's expectation, especially coming from reality TV, is something that is not who I am.
Yeah.
So to be a part of things that actually are in line and in tune with my journey, it's like, okay, so that's when I get nervous, because it's like, dang, this is like where I'm supposed to be, and now I'm actually there.
Well, this is your time to show the world exactly who you are without being skewed. How about that?
Gotta love it.
Now, with that being said, I did watch a little bit of,
You are my favorite, and my husband's too. He like you.
He like her. But I ain't gonna lie, I love you and your husband. I was trolling your page the other day. I was like, oh my gosh, this is just, it's so inspiring.
Black love, right?
It's so inspiring.
Oh,
so
thank
inspiring.
you. Wow.
Yes,
Girl,
yes.
Well, I want to get back to the show.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
We do have to do an interview here.
We do.
All right. But on the show, you are very upfront with everything. You tell it like it is. Where did you get that from, and why do you think it's important for women to speak their mind?
Growing up, I come from a two-parent home, which is a very big blessing in this day and age.
Sure
Yes,
is.
it is. But my dad and my mom are so amazing and evenly yoked as like a marriage should be.
You know, it's interesting. She starts out once again with that two-parent household bullshit. Bitch, your father, and you said that, I believe on the Breakfast Club, you guys, she has stated that her father had a child while he was married to her mother. So your dad is making other children. Well, so far we know it's just one child, but that's bad enough. So you sitting up here already going in with the two-parent household. I came from this, and yet your dad just had a child on your mom and she just found out about it. And this was a couple of years ago, and they've been married all this time. So how is their marriage like so good is just what I want to know.
And growing up, my mom, she cooks every day. She takes care of the house. She still works, but she's like the traditional Southern woman. And my dad is like a Southern man, ex-military. Like, he's a manly man. So my dad, growing up, I was a tomboy, and he would be like, I want you to be like your mama, because she's just so emotional, and she's just so this, and she's just so that.
You spoke openly about you and Caesar and all of that stuff. I watched everything. Why did you decide to leave the show?
The show wasn't in line and in tune with the person that is conducive to the woman that I am supposed to be. And I had to learn that the hard way. I was around people. First off, I'm from North Carolina. I'm the only person that's not from New York that was on the show. So that already makes me an outlier. Then I'm a black woman who's in a male-dominated industry, being a tattoo artist. Then I'm an HBCU graduate.
Come on, Aggie Pride. Come on, Aggie.
So I'm the only college graduate in the bunch.
Wow.
But what does that mean, Dutchess, that she does the same thing, you guys, in each interview? She says the same things. Oh, I'm not from New York. Oh, I come from a two-parent household. Oh, I'm not a college, no, I was the only one that was a college graduate. Who the fuck cares? You still acted like a whore when you was on that show, letting Donna eat you out, popping your pussy and your ass all on Donna, rubbing and touching all on her. You're supposed to be engaged to C's, and you tried to create this narrative that C's was cheating on you and had a wandering eye, but bitch, you was doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So, Dutchess, you carry yourself as a victim. This bitch goes on to say even more shit, you guys. Let's let it play out.
Wow. I'm the only one in the bunch that comes from a two-parent home. All of these dynamics, all of these things don't match the environment that I was a part of.
Yeah, I get it.
How has rebranding been since you've been off the show? How has that been for you? Has that been a challenge? I mean, what are you doing? What are some of the steps you're taking to rebrand yourself?
When I first walked away from the show, I wanted to kill myself.
Oh, my God.
I went through serious depression.
Wow.
I went through getting harassment from cast members, death threats from them, people that they would send to do disrespectful things. They would call my shop, and my mom runs my tattoo shop. Tell my mother, like, the most heinous things that they were going to do to me if I ever came back to New York, and all of these things. It got to a point where I didn't think that I would ever escape it.
What?
And this is 2.5 years ago, mind you. Then the new season of the show airs.
Yes.
And I'm the topic of discussion.
Yeah.
You're not even there.
Every episode, and I'm not even there. So it's like, once I went through the depression at home by myself, now y'all want me to go through public humiliation because you don't have a storyline?
Oh, my goodness.
Like, it's been
Reality is
the
even dangerous,
hardest,
child.
most, when I don't even watch TV, definitely not reality TV, but one of my homegirls hit me up and she was like, you gotta watch the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion. And I watched it, and it tore me up inside to see the Candy and Portia situation. Because people don't understand how hard it is to build your brand and for someone to tear it down with lies.
Yeah.
It's the hardest thing that you can ever do. And I felt every ounce of passion that Candy sat in that chair. Like, Portia has no understanding of what that feels like, what that means for people to believe something about you that's not even who you are.
Right.
First off, like I always state, you guys, with the Candy and Portia situation, I'm going to just break it down really quickly. Candy put herself in that situation. I don't give a fuck about the part Phaedra played or Portia. Candy is a married woman, okay? Nene is a married woman. When have we ever, and don't come at me with this shit with John and Marlo, and I ain't talking about that. When have we ever heard that Nene has sex with women with Greg and, does threesomes? When have you heard any of that? Guess what? You didn't hear any of that. We didn't even hear that about Phaedra and Apollo. Remember, Kenya wanted to have sex with Phaedra and Apollo, or, tried to insinuate that maybe Phaedra should try that. And Phaedra was like, hell no. And that is a part of having morals and values. Now, if you can watch porn and watch people have threesomes and then, have your man watch it too, then that's as far as you should do it. Because what happens is when you really try to have threesomes in your marriage, you're inviting trouble. And for Candy to sit on her victimship of, oh, well, Portia did this and I didn't say I would drug her, and none of this would have never happened, bitch, if you wasn't into doing threesomes with your husband. Because that's where it came about, where your husband and you probably wanted to fuck Portia. You had stated to all the women that you have threesomes in your marriage and you've been with other women. All of that is fine before you're married, but once you get married, bitch, your marriage should be sacred. So Candy went through that, Dutchess, because she is living a contradiction to the life that she should be living. When you get married, I'm not even married, you guys. I'm in a long-term relationship and I'm happy where I'm at in my relationship. But even though I'm not married, I understand the sacrifice that comes with marriage. I understand how you should carry yourself while you're in a marriage. Behavior reflects intentions. You can't put yourself in these situations and then get mad at the outcome. Candy put herself in this situation. If you wasn't kissing Portia in a club, none of the drugging, none of those rumors, none of that would have came about. I promise you. Now y'all notice, Candy, what does she say now? Oh, I'm not messing with no more girls in this group. You should have never did it. So you got a lesson, bitch. You didn't get burned by Phaedra and Portia. It just so happened to be Phaedra and Portia. But that is a lesson. You can't do whatever the fuck you want to do in your marriage. It's a sin, and you're going to get burned. You play with fire, you're going to get burned. Back to you, Dutchess. You sitting up here talking about somebody ruined your brand. You ruined your own brand. Humping all on Donna. You would get little shit started in the shop. No, I don't think you was responsible for the whole Puma and C situation. I feel like Puma was jealous of C's, and I felt like that's how all of that came about. You was into it with Sky. I'm not gonna lie, Sky is a fucking maniac, you know, so I feel like when it comes to you and her, she may have blown shit out of proportion. I don't feel, though, you should have got with her son and did all this shit. It just, that had nothing to do with you. You know, you shouldn't have had that interview done in your shop. You just shouldn't have. You know, you do little slick shit, Dutchess, and then you want to play victim, all the while putting yourself in those situations. You chose to be with C's, and while you was with C's, you pay his child support. That's a choice that you made, but later on, you tried to sue him and get the money from that. You was in love, bitch. That's what you chose to do. You claim you love C so much, but then as soon as you're off the show, you talking about him like a dog. And then y'all remember when she was trying to get back together with him, and I just want us to fix it, and if we could fix it. And he was just like, that time has come and gone. You know, I'll always be your friend, but I'm not interested in getting back with you. And that's what C's told you, because he recognized that you don't take any responsibility for your actions, which is something Caesar has said on the show. You guys can go and look at old episodes where he talks about how she never owns anything that she does. She always cries and plays victim. So to me, it was just very convenient for her to look at the Candy and Portia situation and sit up there and try to take up for Candy. Well, I understand. No, reality TV, and don't speak bad about reality TV. When you chose to be on it, it was good enough to do it for as long as you did it. You was on there a good, 5-6 seasons? You chose to be on there. If it wasn't for reality TV, there would be no Pretty in Ink. And yes, you had that business plan, but you didn't have the money like that. Nobody knew who you was. So, you know, don't bite the hand that feeds you. You know, and I get that that was a lot of stuff for her to go through with people sending her death threats. Now, that was fucked up. I don't feel like she deserved any death threats. But I feel like, Dutchess, people get sick of you playing the motherfucking victim, and that's all you do. You know what I'm saying? I never once see you in an interview saying, you know what, I was messing with a cast member while I was engaged. I shouldn't have been acting like that. I shouldn't have been acting slutty like that. No, she ain't gonna say that. What you'll catch her saying is, well, y'all don't know all the stuff this C's was doing to me to make me do that. Do you see how I just said that, and how she's not taking any responsibility for the part she played? It's just always somebody else's fault. When she talks about the people in New York, they are all so horrible to her. I don't think Walt was horrible to her. Maybe Donna and Sky, you know, and I understand the whole Sky thing, but I don't understand how these people are so horrible to you and you do horrible shit to them. You know what I'm saying? You've said shit about them too. It was an episode you dogged the fuck out of Walt. You was like, open it up. What did you say? You said something like, ring the bell. That's all you do. That's your only job. You clowned him. You know, you put him down. That man is a photographer. Dutchess is a Pisces, and Tamar as well is a Pisces, and I'm about to make a point. Shout out to all my Pisces people out in the world. I'm very close with Pisces people. I had a good friend, and I still have that good friend that's a Pisces. Pisces men, you know, can be cool, but the women I see can be a different thing. They are very entitled. They think that they're better than everybody. Do you guys notice how Tamar talks down on her sisters? You know, remember what she said about her sisters' husbands and how they ain't shit, and my guy is a different type of dude. Remember Tamar said all that shit? When you see Tamar, you pretty much is looking at a Dutchess. They think that they're better. This is how Dutchess thinks that she's better. When you see her do an interview from now on, look for these comments. I was raised in a 2-parent home. I graduated cum laude. already had that business plan for me to open up Pretty in Ink. Sees, he didn't help me do nothing. I paid his child support. Me. I was brought up a certain way. My dad took me to school all the time. My mother came home and cooked every day. Bitch, you ain't no better than nobody else. I don't give a fuck how you grew up. You still was up in New York tattooing. It was good enough then, bitch. So don't get off this show acting like, oh, well, my life is just so much better and I've seen the light and all this victim shit. We don't want to hear that shit, okay? So you need to own your shit, Dutchess. But yeah, this bitch ain't nothing but a little baby Tamar. Just looking down on people, talking about people, oh, I think that I'm so much better. And I told you guys, I saw this shit firsthand. And somebody that I used to be cool with. They always brought up their mother's title and their job and how much money their mother was making. And, we went to this place and we went to that place. Like, why do you need to keep telling people what you've did? That's what you were supposed to do. Enjoy your life. But don't get to thinking that you're any better than anybody else. Shit. You know what I'm saying? This bitch thinks she's so much better than any of them people in New York. And C's, that was her biggest reason, you guys, for why that relationship did not work. Dutchess felt she was better than C's. And even C's mother told him, she said, don't keep changing somebody that won't accept you for who you are. Because C's kept making little changes. And, I think that it hurt him to go back and forth from New York and North Carolina. He didn't want to really do that. But Dutchess wanted him to do that. This is somebody that has been raised in New York. That's pretty much where they want to be. He got his different shops in other places, but he's not a country southern boy like that. Dutchess would never compromise with that. She wanted everything to be her way, and they moved to North Carolina, everything be about her. She kept saying how he never helped her, but listen to one of her interviews. Listen to a couple of them, actually, because Dutchess repeats herself. She'll say, oh, I didn't want nobody to help me. I wanted to prove to myself I could do it on my own. So how the fuck you go blame C's for not really helping you? And he did help you, bitch, by giving you a platform to be on Black Ink in the first fucking place. He is the boss. So don't sit up here and say, well, no, I was a cast member like everybody else. Like, she always finagles her way out of not giving C's his props for helping her be on that show. Always. She tries to get out of that, you guys. She always takes the credit for everything that happens in her life. So, yeah, that's pretty much, you guys, what I wanted to talk about with Dutchess. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It is your girl, Brand New, and I am out.